Hello and welcome to the channel of Craftoratops. Today I'm going to tell you what are these stitch markers, what they are used for, how to use them, and what to do if you don't have them. So what do we use these markers for? For example, when you crochet an amigurumi, a toy, you start from a magic circle and then you go in spiral crocheting your rows. And in the beginning, of course, it is very easy to count your stitches, but going further, it usually becomes pretty difficult to keep track of them. So we can use these stitch markers to show which stitch was the last in the row or the first in the row. At least it's one of the uses of them. How do you use them in practice? Here, for example, let's say that you finished your row and you already crocheted all the amount of stitches that you need. To show that this stitch was the last one in this row, you just take a stitch marker and put it through the stitch, like that. You just put it in and close it. And this is how it looks. Now you know that this stitch was the last one that you crocheted in this row. The same way you can put a marker in the first stitch of the next row. It depends on how it is more comfortable for you. After putting your marker, you keep crocheting as usual the next row. Here we crocheted the pre-last stitch. This one we know that it's the last one because we have a marker in it. So what do? We open the marker, take it off, crochet the last stitch, and insert the marker in that last stitch to show that it was the last stitch. In this way, you don't need to count all the time. And you know that you didn't crochet more stitches than you need, and you ended your row in the right spot. If you don't have stitch markers, it's not a problem. You can substitute them with a regular paper clip. You insert it in the same way to the stitch that you want to mark, and you twist it like that. Of course, it is more comfortable to use a smaller paper clip. Also, you can use a regular pin. In general, it looks almost exactly like a stitch marker because markers can be also metal. So in the same way, we insert it in the stitch that we want to mark and close it. If you don't have a paper clip or a pin, you can just use any piece of yarn, but preferably a different color. We just insert the hook in the stitch that we want to mark and pull a piece of yarn through it. So in this way, we will know that this stitch is marked. Also, with a piece of yarn of a different color, you can mark where exactly you will put the eyes of your toy or any other details of your amigurumi. Also, with a piece of yarn, you can mark a specific row. For example, if you know that in between the 10th and 11th row, you need to put your eyes. If you want, you can just count the rows, or you can just use a piece of yarn and it will be more convenient. This is why we're using markers in crocheting. As you see, it is not necessary to buy stitch markers. You can use improvised means. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can write them in the comments and leave your likes.